Have you ever gotten halfway through a crochet project and realised that your starting chain is curling? It's starting to look like a fan when it should be a straight line. It's way tighter than it should be. Well, I've got the solution for you. But before we get started, hi, hello, welcome to my channel, Hot for Knots. My name is Vix and I'm here to teach you how to crochet. In this video, I'm going to tell you about my favourite crochet trick, the foundation chain. Now, the key benefit to the foundation chain is that it makes a much nicer start to your crochet piece. As you can see, this one is starting to curl, and when I try and put it straight, it doesn't look very nice. The bottom bit is way tighter and thus making it look shorter than the rest of the piece, whereas this one here has got a lot more flexibility. I can straighten it. It's the exact same type of stitch, except for the only difference is this one is using a normal starting chain, your standard one, and then this is using a foundation chain. There are multiple different types of foundation chain, and I'm going to show you how to do the main four. So that's your slip stitch starting chain, your single crochet starting chain, and this is going to be using US terminology. I'll put in the UK terminology just in the corner down there. So we're going to start off with the slip stitch foundation chain, the single crochet foundation chain, and half double crochet foundation chain, and double crochet foundation chain. Okay, so this is what your slip stitch foundation chain looks like. So that's your slip stitch foundation chain. We then have the single crochet foundation chain. So if you compare the two, the single crochet one looks a little bit thicker. There's a bit more height to this one, and that's because it is emulating both your starting chain and your first row of single crochet there. And this is your half double crochet foundation chain. As with before, it emulates that starting chain and then that first half double crochet row. And then finally we have got our double crochet or triple crochet for those in the UK. And again, it's a lot thicker than the other ones, and that's because it is representing your starting chain and your first double crochet row. And as you can see, they're all nice and stretchy compared to a standard chain. And you can see that each stitch is a lot tighter than our slip stitch foundation chain. This one's a lot stretchier, this one is a lot tighter, and this is going to give me quite a rounded shape. I do want to just note that there are some instances where this starting chain, this standard starting chain, is beneficial. So if you have a look at this octopus, this will be an example where I have used a standard chain, and that's in the tentacles here. Now, as you can see, the tentacles have a curve to them. It's quite difficult to stretch them out, and that's because they're using a standard chain over here. Now, if I had used a foundation chain, it wouldn't have had the same effect. It would have been a lot straighter and it wouldn't have this nice curve here. So there are times when a standard crochet chain is beneficial, but if I'm ever making garments, or to be honest, most things, I use this foundation chain. Before we get into how to actually do each of these, I do want to talk you through how you choose your chain, how you know which one to do. The rule of thumb that I like to use is to use the same stitch as that is shown in the second row. So if your pattern has standard chain and then the second row is a half double crochet, then I'm going to use the half double crochet foundation chain. If my second row was just single crochets, then I'm going to use my single crochet foundation chain, and the same if it's double crochet, then I'll use my double crochet foundation chain. I do appreciate that some patterns aren't that simple, and they might be something like a V-stitch like I showed you in my first example. We've got a V-stitch. So here I've started off with a slip stitch, as that is the thinnest foundation chain I can use, and I can then work into it just like I would a normal starting chain. I guess a easy way to think about it is if you are unsure, just go for the slip stitch foundation chain, as that is the most representative of a standard chain. So starting out, I'll tell you what I'm using for my yarn and my hook. So here I've got Sardar Stories in a nice sort of khaki green. I have quite a bit of this yarn left over from a project, so I'm going to use that today. So we've got our ball of yarn. This is a composition of acrylic and cotton. It is double knitting thickness as well. And I'm going to be using a 4mm hook. So this one here is a Clover hook. And I like these because they have a nice ergonomic handle and they're really, really lightweight, as well as the actual hook being nice and smooth. There's no sort of weird welding marks or anything like that. So we start off with our slip knot. So how I like to do a slip knot is you take your yarn, wrap it round your finger, so you've got that kind of shape. And then I like to take my hook and I hook it through. Like that. And when I do a slip knot, I like to make sure, as sort of good practice, that this working yarn, the yarn that's actually connected to your ball, is at the front. So start off with 2 chains. So we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. For the slip stitch foundation chain, we're going to put our hook into the first V, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we've got 2 loops on our hook. Then we are going to, with the working yarn, to make sure you're not picking up your slip knot chain, you're going to yarn over, pull through the first loop, and as you can see, you've got a nice V over there that we've now formed. Let's show you that again. So we had 2 loops on the hook, we yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and you want to make sure that this loop you've just pulled through isn't too tight, so you might want to pull it out a little bit, and that's just going to help you keep your chain nice and straight. It's not going to curl. So because it's a slip stitch, we are just going to pull this loop through our second loop there. Okay, let's show you that again. So we go into this V that we made. Let me just get you nice and close. So this V that we made, we're going to put the hook through there. If your tension's a bit tight, it might be a bit tight going in there. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. So again, we've got 2 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1, make sure it's a little bit loose, and then pull through that second loop. Again, go under the V. I'd really recommend keeping an eye on that V. So we went under the V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and then pull through that second loop. Go into that V. Again, that V is just under where we were working. Put your hook into that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and then pull through that second loop. And as you can see, we have done 4 chains of our foundation row, and the actual sort of working part of the foundation chain is being built to the side. So we're working into this V, but if you were going to go into this chain, just like a standard chain, you'd be working into these. These are kind of your standard V's that you'd be working into. and this is what you're working into to build up that chain. So again, we're going to put our hook through that V. Made this one a bit tight. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through one, and then pull through one. Put your hook under that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, make sure it's nice and loose, and then pull through. Hook into the V, yarn over, pull up a loop, make sure it's nice and long, yarn over, pull through one, pull through. Okay, so you'd keep working that until you get your starting number of chains that your pattern requires. Now, one thing I do want to note is that normally in a pattern it will give you a set number of chains, and then 2 of those chains actually aren't quite forming your foundation chain, it's your turning stitches. So if, for example, your pattern says in that second row to start working into the 3rd chain from your hook, then that means that you are going to have to do 2 extra turning chains. So don't forget those when you're doing a foundation chain. So this is going to be our turning chains, and then I'm going to start working into the foundation. So I'm going to ignore these little ones, and let's say if I was going to work a half double crochet, then I'd start it here and then go through and start working my stitches from there. Okay, so now we're going to look at our single crochet foundation chain. So starting off with our slip knot, just like we did before, and we are going to do 2 chains. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have got 2 chains. 2 chains there. And just like before, we are going to work into that first chain, so just going under that first V. Be a bit fiddly. We're then going to yarn over and pull through a loop. So we've got 2 loops on the hook. Just like before, we're going to yarn over and pull through 1. And as you can see, we have made our first V. That's what we'll be working into that next stitch, just like we did before. And we've got 2 loops on the hook. Now, whereas before I just pulled this straight through because it's the slip stitch, this one is a single crochet, so I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. So let's do that again. Working into that V, yarn over, put up a loop, make sure it's nice and loose, yarn over, pull through 1. We've got our V there, that's what we're going to be working into in the next stitch. And because we need to finish off with our single crochet, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, hook under that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, make sure it's nice and loose, otherwise it's going to be really difficult to work in that V. Yarn over, pull through 1, we've made the V, yarn over, pull through 2. Hook underneath the V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. I'll show you this last one. Hook underneath the V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, look at the V, yarn over, pull through 2. As you can see, we've now got our single crochet as well as our starting chain, being represented. So this will count as sort of your first row and chain, depending on how your pattern looks. And as you can see, we then work into these here. So that's what we'll be working our next row into. And just like before, we need to keep an eye on how many turning chains there are. Let's say this one has 1 turning chain for each row. You put that turning chain and then you start working into your next working stitch, and you start working through it like that. Next, half double crochet foundation chain. For those that are in the UK, that will be a half triple crochet. Start off with our slip knot. And again, we're going to start off with 2 chains. Now this time round, because we're doing a half double crochet, which always starts off with us yarning over the hook, we're going to yarn over. We are then going to go into that first V, that first chain, just like before. Yarn over, pull up a loop, make sure it's nice and loose because that's going to be our first V. Yarn over, pull through 1 to make our V, as you can see it nice and clearly over there. We've got 3 loops on the hook now. We're going to yarn over and we're going to do just like we would with a half double crochet, pull through 3 loops. Let's do that again. We yarn over, go through that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, go into that V that we just made, yarn over, pull up a loop, make sure it's nice and loose, yarn over, pull through 1, we've got our V, yarn over, pull through 3. Again, yarn over, go underneath that V we just made. Again, really recommend keeping your eye on that when you're making it. Yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1, and here we've made that V. Yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, go under that V. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1. So just pulling through that first loop. So we've got 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 3. You can see we've now got our, how many? 5 starting half double crochets here. You can see you've got the 2 different ways you can work into that, because we've got V's along here, we've got V's along here, just like a standard half double crochet, but it's now included your foundation chain and it's got nice flexibility, nice stretch. And we'll have a look at our pattern, and if it requires 2 turning chains, then we are going to just do those 2 chains, and then we start working into foundation chain just like we would normally. There we are. Okay, so that was our half double crochet foundation chain. We're now going to move on to our double crochet or triple crochet for those that are in the UK. Again, we're starting the exact same way. You will notice that once you've done one, you can figure out how to do the others quite easily, because the main part of this stitch is basically the same. The only thing that's changing is how you finish it off, really. So again, let's start off with 2 chains. Now, because we're doing a double crochet, we have to start off with our yarn over first, just like we would in our half double crochet foundation chain, or if we would in a standard double crochet. We always yarn over to begin with. We're going to go through that first chain, yarn over, plop loop. We've got 3 hooks on the chain, 3 loops on the hook, 3 hooks on the chain. Okay. So 3 loops. I'm losing it. 3 loops, yarn over, pull through that first loop. So we've got our V. We're then going to proceed with a double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, we yarn over, we're going to go through that V we've just made. As you can see, it's a bit further from the hook now because it's now kind of got this double crochet, which is quite a long stitch blocking it. So always try and keep an eye on that V. If it's helpful, you can put a stitch marker in it if you are struggling to keep track of it. We go underneath that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, just like before. We're then going to yarn over, pull through 1, look at the V. We're then going to proceed with our double crochet, so yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. As you can see, that V is a bit further away now because you've got this double crochet stitch blocking it. We're gonna yarn over, go underneath that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, you've made the V, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, go into that V. If the V's are too tight, then when you're pulling up that loop, that first loop, make sure it's nice and long. Give it a bit of height over there. You don't want it to be like this, otherwise it's going to make a really tight V and it's going to be quite difficult to get your hook in there, especially if you're using a bigger hook than I am. So keep it nice and long, and it also prevents it from curling if you are noticing your foundation chain curling a little bit. Yarn over, pull through 1 because we're making up that V, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, go into that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Just like before, if there's a turning chain, you want to include that at the end. So if there's 2 turning chain, then I'm just going to put that 2 chain there, and then I can start working into that first working chain. And I'm just assuming that it's a pattern that requires another row of double crochet. I work it in there. Okay, so it's nice and loose. Well, not loose, it's still a tight, nice stitch, but it's just got that extra stretch, whereas if you were to do a standard starting chain, it would be really tight. Okay, so that's all from me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have tried a foundation chain before, please leave a comment down below saying that you have tried it. If you've not tried it before, please let me know how you get on in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you. If you'd like to see more from me, then please hit that subscribe button and you'll get more videos like this showing you how to crochet. Just doing a bit of teaching here. Right, bye.